Good evening and thanks for joining us. There are a lot of mixed emotions in this country tonight. NHL hockey is coming back. The first games could begin in 12 days. The lockout that kept arenas empty for months is all but over now that the owners and players have finally reached a tentative deal. There is excitement, but it's muted. The dispute was all about money, and a bitter taste remains among many fans, which is why today the players were busy saying sorry. Mike Drolet reports.
There wasn't much flash at practice for these locked out NHLers today. They played a bit, stood around a lot, and generally looked tired. Perhaps they weren't looking forward to the mea culpas they knew they owed their fans.
Merci beaucoup for everything and coming back out and watching us.
We are sorry, but I think there's a lot of fans out there that don't want to hear that.
No doubt the 113-day lockout has been tough on everyone. Watching the players and owners fighting over how to divvy up $3 billion in annual revenue wasn't fun. There's been too many suits on the news, too many pictures of these two guys, too many escalator shots for their liking. So now that the lockout is about to end, it's understandable there's a mix of out-of-this-world joy and grounded bitterness.
No tickets, no TV, no merchandise.
You lock me out, I'm locking you out. I promise.
That's not to say there aren't happy fans. These girls mobbed practicing NHLers in Toronto yesterday. But unlike past lockouts, there's a lot of anger from a fan base who believe the NHL doesn't value them.
No, I don't think they do. I think they care about a dollar sign, and that's sad. I think they should open up and let everybody come for free.
Jokinen finds a Gila, scores!
That's unlikely. Fans may be angry in Canada, but they'll come back. They always do. The NHL has bigger problems to consider.
To me, the big issue is going to be south of the U.S. The southern part of the U.S. is what's being off the radar there. Do people care?
The last time we had a lockout in 2004 or 2005, there was anger in a lot of these markets, but at least there's emotion. And what I've sensed doing some of the NFL playoffs in the States is that when it comes to hockey, there's indifference. And when people don't care, that's the worst thing you could possibly have for your product.
It put a little sour taste in my mouth just because they were fighting over millions of dollars, and with the economy the way it is, I believe that people were frustrated.
So sorry might be good enough in Canada, but for a league treading on thin ice in the U.S., the NHL might want to think about grand gestures. Mike Drolet, Global News, Toronto.
And with me now from New York, where the players and owners are expected to ratify this deal this week, is Ross Lord. Ross, what do we know about the timeline for this shortened season?
Right, so everyone is saying drop the puck, maybe my inner voice as well, but hockey fans all over the world are saying let's get on with this. This is great, but there's still a lot of work to do to make sure they don't drop the ball first. So here's the plan. On Wednesday, the Board of Governors come to New York and vote on whether to ratify. The players also need to ratify. Then on Saturday, NHL training camps would open, and all of that is geared toward an opening night Saturday, January 19th, on a 48-game schedule. There could be a little bit of variance in that if the ratification goes faster than expected, but right now that's what the NHL is aiming for.
All right, Ross, and there's a lot of lingering bitterness, of course, we know from fans. Canadians might be easier to win back, but what about in the U.S.? Has interest in NHL hockey dropped off because of this?
I don't think we've seen that here in Manhattan over the last few days. We've talked to a lot of hockey fans. We've talked to people that couldn't care less too. But the fans we've talked to, and there are a lot of dedicated, hardcore, knowledgeable hockey fans here, not one of them said, I'm not going back. A lot of them said, yeah, this is BS. We don't like how this has happened. We feel like we've been neglected. But every one of them we spoke with can't wait for the game to start again. But the NHL does, I think, have work to do in some of those softer markets and in terms of wooing fans back. So we'll see what they have up their sleeve on that.
All right, Ross Lord in New York City tonight. Thanks, Ross.